We've already seen a federal lawsuit challenging the constitutionality of the Corporate Transparency Act. Well, now there's a bill that was just passed in the House of Representatives proposing to make big changes to the CTA. I'm talking about major deadline extensions for everybody. Let's talk about it and see how it will impact you if it's passed by Congress. Hi, guys. Welcome to Presume Legal. I'm Misha Janice. I'm an entrepreneur and an attorney licensed in New York and Florida. So here's the deal. A bill was just introduced in the House of Representatives that could change the game for companies who need to report their ownership information under the Corporate Transparency Act. I'm going to call it the CTA from here on out. So we already know, as I've covered in my previous videos, that the CTA is coming into effect on January 1, 2024, and it's going to require 33 million businesses in the US to upload information about who owns and controls those businesses to a new federal registry database. Now, the CTA was passed a couple years ago, and it pretty much has sat on the back burner since then. But now that the effective date is upon us, it's gaining the attention of those who will be impacted by it. So many tax and accounting professionals, as well as lawyers and small business advocacy groups, they're expressing concern about the scope of the rules and the ability of small businesses to comply with them. As a result, there have been pushes to contact members of Congress to delay or even repeal the law, and at least one major lawsuit filed against the Treasury. I'll link my video on that lawsuit in the description box. Go check it out. So, under the law as it stands today, companies in existence today have until December 31st, 2024 to comply with the CTA's reporting requirements. Under the law, companies formed in 2024, and only those formed in 2024, have 90 days from the date they were formed to comply with the CTA's reporting requirements. And all companies, regardless of when they were formed, must report changes to information they submitted within 30 days of those changes occurring. Well, a bipartisan bill introduced to the House of Representatives proposed to extend the deadline for companies to report ownership information to 2 years instead of 1 year. The bill is called the Protect Small Business and Prevent Illicit Financial Activity Act. It's a mouthful. In support of the bill, the proponents argued that additional time, especially for those small and newly formed businesses, would improve the accuracy of the registry, and it would streamline the government's law enforcement efforts. They went on to say that providing our nation's small businesses with sufficient time to comply with the CTA will help FinCEN to develop an effective and meaningful registry. They also slipped in another substantive change that could shake up plans for some businesses. As it stands today in the CTA, there may be a little wiggle room for reporting companies who are just unable to report their beneficial owner information because they can't obtain the identification from one of those beneficial owners. Well, this bill includes a directive to FinCEN to not accept any report that's incomplete due to an inability to provide that information. So there's that. Well, this bill, it passed overwhelmingly in the House of Representatives in a vote of 420 to 1. The bill went over to the Senate for Senate approval, but the Senate was supposed to have gone on break December 15th. I guess they decided to extend their Senate session for an additional week to take up some other matters. So it's unclear right now whether or not the Senate is going to even discuss this CTA deadline extension bill. What does this mean for you? So By all means, please continue with your planning efforts and preparing to comply with those reporting requirements as they stand today. Now, like I mentioned before, if you want more information on the Corporate Transparency Act, whether it applies to your business, what the requirements are, how to determine beneficial owners, what the deadlines are, check out my playlist. And if you're a small business owner, you want legal tips, updates, general advice about how to proactively protect your business assets, hit that subscribe button, leave me a comment to say hello, and stay tuned because I've got a lot more content coming for you guys. Until the next time, peace.